prosecutor, especially the tussle with Ken Oforiatta, the attempts to bring him down, the Interpol red notice, and now that being restricted by Interpol because there's a process before them where the lawyers for Mr. Oforiatta are asking that actually the red notice against him be withdrawn because there's no case against their clients. All of this and how it works against the office and the fight against corruption. What are your own thoughts on it?
Thank you, Sena, and greetings again to all your listeners. This case strikes at the heart of our democracy that we practice. Ghana is touted as a model of democracy in the sense that it has held peaceful elections over the years and rotated power peacefully. Never mind, there are always some, uh, a bit of violence here and there, but the model status of Ghana has kind of eclipsed those dark sides of our democracy. But then, what are we seeing? We are seeing a situation where democracy is basically serving the elite. That's why they call it an elitist democracy. If power belongs to the people, as democracy is supposed to be, then how can a finance minister who, touted his moral credential now is on the run from justice and all efforts to get him to come and answer for answer the allegations made against him, proving futile because of the elite legal system and international order that makes it possible for people of a certain elite class, including our Ghanaian political class, to take advantage of these legal, you know, legal arguments or provisions that tend to protect those who have the resources to hire the best lawyers and then to stretch the procedures to breaking limits and to enjoy their freedom. Meanwhile, it is not the same thing for me and you. If you are accused of even a minor offense, like the demonstrators who demonstrated towards the end of the year last year against Galamsey, they were locked up in prison and not given bail. So I see all these gymnastics in legal argument to fit into the elitist nature of our society and the political system that we operate. And at a global level, it's the same thing. It favors people who have the resources. And I go back to the point that if this is you and me, you won't be able to, you won't get all these, soft treatment or soft being treated with kid gloves when you are accused of an offense. And to talk of a serious allegations involving millions of dollars really points to the fact that fighting the corruption in our present system is going to be very, very difficult. You know?
Fighting corruption in our present system will be difficult.
Yes.
And the difficulty for you is the kind of democracy we are running that you say favors the elite.
Yes. Because if you look at it, what is supposed to be democracy is ruled by the people. And the constitution of Ghana says sovereignty resides in Ghanaians. So we are supposed to be the people who have the power, and then we delegate it to the political class to govern on our behalf with, measures or procedures for holding them accountable. But this is just in theory. What we are seeing across the political divide is that throughout this fourth republic, we have witnessed huge corruption scandals involving the political class. And most often, you don't see to up till now, we have not seen any of them go through, a legal, a criminal process. I stand to be corrected. I know the former ministers of the NDC were put through a criminal trial and some actually were jailed. But then you hardly see this happening, just like you see it in other parts of the world where a president, like in France, would go through the legal system like any ordinary Ghanaian, ordinary French person. And then the courts are empowered, the institutions are empowered to deal with such a powerful person like any other ordinary citizen. And then he gets to be sentenced to jail. You saw in the U.S. Donald Trump going through all the criminal processes with embarrassing consequences for him. Never mind, he became the president again and stopped all those criminal procedures. But in our part of the world, it looks like the political economy of the country is said that it's a toxic brew for festering corruption rather than fighting it.
But this was one of the things that the Office of Special Prosecutor was supposed to deal with. We said, and President Akufo-Addo at the time argued that if you look at our current arrangements, the president appoints the office of the Attorney General, who then is also Minister of Justice. So that Attorney General is beholden to the president. So most of the times they find it difficult prosecuting cases of corruption unless they have the tacit agreement of the executive. So we set up the Office of the Special Prosecutor. Where is that office of also failing for you?
Uh, so all these institutions are set up in a specific political economic context where you have a democratic system, as you rightly pointed out, where a powerful executive president appoints all these oversight um, uh, institutions who are supposed to fight corruption. So, I mean, you don't need to be a political scientist to know that when you have such a system in place where there is the president is so powerful and is supposed to be appointing all the heads of institutions that are supposed to be overseeing the fight against corruption and to ensure that there is due diligence and value for money. You are likely to face a situation where these institutions will just be toothless bulldogs. If the president, you get a president who is not committed to fighting corruption, most often because of the way the system is, they are not so committed because it is baked into the way the political system has been arranged that you need to raise to get money to sponsor your political campaign. So inherent to this system means that the political class is all the way to the presidency will be, careful and thinking of how to raise money to win the next election. So our political system or the democracy makes the goal or the interest of politicians very short termist, because they want to win the next election rather than developing the country. So all these have informed the situation where, as we saw, the former OSP had to resign because there was pressure on him. He was not given free hand to operate. This present OSP, you know, also complains about executive interference. Since His Excellency John Mahama took over, we haven't heard of him complaining that he hasn't been given the resources or he's not allowed to operate freely. So it seems we are beginning to see a kind of autonomy given to the OSP to operate. Otherwise, the system or the political system is arranged in such a way that corruption becomes a structural problem, and which affects all these institutions that are supposed to oversee the fight against corruption. And if you don't have a president who is committed, and as I argue, most often they seem to be committed, but in reality they are not, because there's no president that has come to Ghana that has been elected who doesn't, during campaigning, say they are coming to fight corruption, because they know that that is a winning argument. And most Ghanaians are really interested in president or a candidate that will fight corruption. But what do we see? Before promising zero tolerance for corruption, what did we see? President Akufo-Addo promised that or argued that if anybody wants to make money, it's not in his government. He or she should look somewhere in the private sector. And I think the NDC have a history that their history says that it is an anti-corruption party. I mean, but what do we see? So it is just I'm sorry saying about the political economy of the country says that corruption is baked into all these into the political system, and unless the structural you know underpinnings are broken, you hear all these rhetoric about fighting corruption, but it won't go far.
So, what needs to change? Because currently there is a setup. We have institutions that are supposed to be proactive in dealing with matters of corruption. For you, what needs to change for you to be convinced that we are really interested in fighting corruption, that all those offices are just not set up and doomed to fail?
Sorry if I sound so pessimistic, but there are. I mean, I think we can still do something about this. There is no situation that can just be so hopeless to the extent that citizens cannot do anything about it. So again, I think the citizens have to reclaim power from the political elites. I mean, if you, I'm someone who believes in civic activism. And it has worked in several places, like Nepal, where the citizens rose up and then they fought against the establishment. And across the world, you have the Gen Zs and the youth rising. I'm not instigating any revolution, but I'm just giving examples of how citizens have been able to, really hold their leaders accountable beyond the ritual of voting maybe every 4 years or every 5 years. If you also see the present president, you can see that there is a commitment or an appearance of that commitment to fight corruption. So you see him all the time reminding his appointees that, listen, if you are found to be, corrupt or accused of corruption, he's not going to protect you. He actually designed a code of ethics with strict compliance with certain anti-corruption procedures, like the declaration of property, conflict of interest issues, and strict or severe punishment for people, political appointees who breach or flout this code of conduct. He has asked for the Auditor General's findings of people or institutions that are found to be corrupt or have abused their office or led to the loss of money to be, taken to court and then be subject to pay what they have, the loss they have caused. So I think he has to move beyond that and probably so by leaving the OSP to have that autonomy or the space to operate without interference, which I think he's doing. I think we also need to reform the procurement laws because the procurement laws probably leave so many loopholes that are exploited by, a cartel of state capturers to, their advantage. So I think that also will be a place we have to look at. It's also, this might be his, I think it's his last term. What has he got to lose? I mean, he should just crack the whip as he seems to be doing. If anybody is found to be, any of his appointees are found to be corrupt. But we are seeing that up to now there's no big. I cannot think of any big political scandal that you know came up during the past 10 months. I don't know if you are aware of any.
Mm,
So all
no.
this looks like he's he's making use of the political power he has and the opportunity that he has to build a positive image and legacy for himself because it's a unique opportunity because he's not going to ask for them to vote for him again. So he can, Ghanaians want somebody who will fight corruption. So if he wants to do that, then he will really leave a very positive legacy for himself. And that would be a motivation for him to do something different.
Okay. Okay. Let me conclude by asking you for your thoughts on because it's something that was a big discussion yesterday. The matter of the National Cathedral, the Christian Council went before the president, and their request was simple: continue the National Cathedral and complete it. The president's response was, "I'm not going to spend $400 million building a cathedral. In fact, we are still struggling to account for the $50 million that we spent already. That I won't spend that amount." What do you make of the Christian Council's the request they made? Was that the right response the president should have given them?
Oh, I for that request, I was just, it was so ridiculous. I couldn't imagine that a clergy who are supposed to have a certain high moral standard and a moral compass that probably would have, you know, uh, deterred them from making this request. Because we are talking about corruption, serious decay of the society by a political class that engages in all kinds of uh, scandals that has deprived the state of critical resources to implement or to provide critically needed services to its citizens, like provide schools so that children do not or people do not sit under trees, equip the hospitals so that people do not die from preventable diseases. And then political leaders think over $58 million to dig in the most expensive hole in the world. Never mind, this political leader said it was his personal project. Never mind that they had the board of directors or governance were all, if I am not mistaken, members of the clergy. Yet this is one of the revolting, disgusting corruption scandals that we ever witnessed in this country. And for the clergy to go there, not talking about how do we deal with this situation where this money has been funneled away, leaving the whole thing to be a pond for brewing mosquitoes in Accra. We are rather asking the president to commit more resources to this project when the culprits or people who have who are involved in this scandal have not been brought to book. Why will you make such a request to the president and then to put him in a certain tight position, being the clergy? You are supposed to be people that are powerful in Ghanaian politics. So if he refuses, then it becomes that the president is not promoting Christianity, is not going to build a cathedral and then probably create an image before the Christian community that he's not supporting their religion. Why would they put him in that position? But in line with his commitment, what appears to be a dramatic turn away from business as usual, where presidents promise to fight corruption and then come and then they even do worse things. The president told them that he is not going to do that. He's not going to do that. Honestly, I have no problem. I really think that everybody should be allowed freedom of worship is part of our rights, freedom of conscience. So you can be the Christian that you want, but don't go and think that the state should sponsor a project just for your religion. There are many. Ghana is a diverse society, so there are many religions. So how many people can go to the president and ask that, oh, do this project or that project for me? We are not living under a theocracy. We are living under democracy. For God's sake, the president will spend scarce resources on improving the human development of the country, not on wasteful projects like the cathedral. I'm sorry, but I think the president showed that he really means business when he says that he's going to fight corruption by giving them that, very straightforward response.
Mm. Prof, thank you. Thank you very much for speaking to us.
Thank you, Senna. I appreciate it.
Professor Jasper Abimbi Ayalozano is Associate Professor Political Science at the UDS. We'll be right back.
Gasaba. Smoke from firewood and charcoal is harmful and as damaging to our lungs as cigarettes. It can cause heart diseases, leading to stroke, and may even affect our eyesight in the long run. Grandmothers, mothers, sisters, wives, men, caterers, and everyone still cooking with charcoal, let's switch to LPG gas. The National Petroleum Authority has introduced the cylinder recirculation model in collaboration with local partners to make gas more accessible in all local communities. Whether you own a cylinder or not, join our CRM initiative. Simply show up at any exchange point near you with a small down payment to receive a filled cylinder or swap your empty one. Regular safety checks will be in place. Say ebisa museo mo gas. Afedie gasaba. Switch from firewood and charcoal to gas for a better and healthier life. This message is brought to you by the National Petroleum Authority and the Ministry of Energy.
Fly Emirates and start your unforgettable family holiday the moment you board. Unwind and relax with up to 6,500 channels of movies, TV shows, games, and music. Savor your regionally inspired meals served with complimentary drinks, while the little ones stay entertained with over 250 dedicated kids channels and cool activity packs. Fly better to Dubai and beyond with daily flights from Accra. Fly Emirates, fly better.
The winning season is back, but this time I am collecting the wins like jollof at a wedding. The luckiest season 3 is here. Your chance to flip your luck or maybe your bank accounts too.
2 easy ways to join. Dial *712#. Hit 1 to buy for you or 2 to gift a friend. Feeling lucky? Pick 1 for a random number or hit 2 to choose your own. Pay with mobile money. Done. You're in.
Or go to theluckiestafrica.com, click community tickets, choose your number or let the system do so for you. You can buy a ticket for your boo or your favorite barber. Pay with Momo or card if you're abroad.
1 ticket could turn your 1 Ghana cedi into 500 times more. And the whole community could win 10 times over.
Dial *712# or log on.
Let's get lucky together because luck is everywhere.
Play responsibly, not for persons under 18 years. This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
So adie siesika na rini car ane compute Ghana cashback season na san bebiem we dey esni sales and san sene discount bia eye cashback sales festival woni ediga ache emre na so se ye be chewade so IT ho niema mobile phones and home appliances e wo compute Ghana showroom e wo Ghana fane nyina nenya discount cashback and surprise gifts amunumu wa na dey den say wo invoice no e ma wakwenya e ma wotumi di draw ni mu prensa e ho e na obetumi edi bibi to say TV, laptops, phones, sika, and our face wa chadie kese. Ebusia a brand new SUV. Wey enye dwedie keke. Eya fashion kasa. Efi October kosi December. Dija siesika nenya ndiema kese. Boru a Compugana showroom bia. Ubetimi shop online at www.compugana.com. Frey 0302752020. Sajumedi NLA and the Caritas Lottery platform on Sashasi.
Well, taking us to 10 a.m. and it's time for us to take leave of you. Just to say one more thing. I think sometimes, SM, some of the things I hear